This past weekend was the FM Streamer Showdown, Season 3 of FM21, and well, I won it. And this is a video to tell you all about how I managed to do it. Come on, finally. Hello, welcome back to the channel. My name is Clayts. This is Clayts FM, and let's talk about the Streamer Showdown. It was Season 3 this past weekend, and I'm making a special video here because, as I've said in the intro there, we ended up as champions. Finally, it's been a very, very long time coming. If you're not aware, the Streamer Showdown is a monthly competition between the biggest and best of all of the FM streamers over on Twitch. Side note, we do live stream over on Twitch. It's twitch.tv/Clayts if you want to go and check out what we're doing over there. Things such as the Streamer Showdown. So it's a monthly competition where the best will play the best, and somehow we've managed to luck our way into this group, and eventually we've managed to actually come out as the very best. It's only taken us, I think this is 7 tries we've had now. The format of the competition is a midweek draft whereby we pick our squads before we then face off on the weekend, starting on the Saturday where we play a league stage, and then on a Sunday, if you make it that far, you play the knockout competition. Now, I'm going to talk you through what we did over this past weekend and how we ended up to become the champion of the whole thing. I'll show you the players we picked with a little bit of a montage of the draft. I'll talk you through the league stage 2 and then finally onto the knockouts. And I'll try and point out what I think made us successful. Was it things like the tactic? Was it things like set pieces? I'm sure people are going to say that. Or was it things slightly less obvious like the players that we drafted and drafting with a system in mind? And hopefully you'll enjoy reminiscing with me over what was a very, very successful weekend. Here we go. Oh, really quick plug before we continue. If you are enjoying any of the content on the channel, then please do consider subscribing. As I record this, we are super close to 3,000 subscribers. We may even have hit it by now. If we haven't, you can help me to get there. So that's cool for you, isn't it? I mean, it does help too. It means that you get notified about future videos as well, and it makes me feel good about myself. So yeah. Other things you can do, you can also like the video and leave me some comments too because of algorithm reasons. Let's continue with the video. And so for this edition of the Streamer Showdown, the rules and regulations were that we were allowed to choose 17 players from Serie A and La Liga. Usually it's 18, and that's because you get a wild card. Usually we're allowed to choose our wild cards. On this occasion, we were going to be randomly allocated them via a wheel that was operated on the lowdown. We ended up being given Bruno Fernandes. However, we didn't know that it was going to be Bruno Fernandes until after we had drafted. It turned out very well for us. That was our first stroke of luck for the weekend. And as we go through this, I'll talk you through the places where I think we got lucky, because I've said it over and over again. If you are to win one of these showdown weekends, you need that little bit of luck. As I've been chatting away here, by the way, you will have started to see the draft footage playing behind me. Now, players that I'm choosing here are in the order that I had drafted them. So you will see that I went for Victor Osimhen first, who was excellent over the course of the weekend. Straight after we got Osimhen, we got Varane, and then we followed through like that. Really early pick, by the way, Samir Handanovic. I wanted to make sure we got that goalkeeper pick into. Maybe slightly early for a goalkeeper, but I think we were kind of shown that that was correct in the end. And then you see the rest of the players coming through. I'll talk about the squad a bit more as we look at things like the tactic, but overall, I was pretty happy with this draft. This is what it looks like. Here's the full rundown of our draft and also everybody else's who took part in this competition this weekend. I was pretty happy with the draft, as I tweeted here. However, it got a pretty lukewarm reception over on social media. I mean, Breezy tweeted this: mid-table mediocrity, he went for our squad. So people were definitely not predicting that we were going to win. There was also a lot of people who were predicting that they were going to win. I'll just reference this tweet here from Luke. That didn't go so well for him in the end, did it? I decided to shy away from being too confident because those things always come back to bite you. And so the league campaign took place on Saturday evening. You play everybody once and then a league champion is confirmed. A little bit of extra jeopardy is that if you finish in the bottom 2 places, you play off in an elimination game live on the lowdown on the Sunday, at the start of Sunday evening. And the loser is out. The winner of that goes into the knockouts. So you want to avoid being in the bottom 2, but also you kind of want to try and win the league too, because there's a few bonuses like an extra wipe where you get to reset the fitness of your players. So here are some of the highlights as we we go through. In fact, all of the goals that we did score over the course of the league campaign. And as you're seeing about now, this is just us taking a 3-goal lead against Luke in the very first game. 9 minutes in. So just going back to that, I'll put the tweet on the screen again. Because, yeah, I can't stop myself, honestly. We ended up winning this first game 4-2, I think it was, overall. And that got us off to a lovely, lovely start in this league campaign. We were pretty dominant. And that carried through to the second game as well, where we beat the 5-time champion, Lalujo, 2-1 in the second game. 2 wins from 2 to start things off. We were very good in this league campaign. We had settled into our system whereby we were playing this 4-4-2. I'll show it on the screen there, as you can see. Very, very simple, very compact, very good on the ball. We were pretty good at keeping the ball, passing it around, and then launching onto these very quick, almost like counter-attacks, with Victor Osimhen up front alongside Arkadiusz Milik. And then once we got ourselves into a lead, we were changing from this 4-4-2 into this 4-4-1-1 system, whereby we drop another attacking midfielder in there, trying to make it even more compact in that midfield, trying to shut down the game. It was working really well. Alongside that 4-4-1-1, we were also changing into this 4-2-3-1, as you can see there, which, again, I mean, if you've ever played Football Manager, you know that the 4-2-3-1 is pretty much your go-to formation. It was working. You're seeing us score goals against Sweet Left Foot just then. Here's a game against Chesnoid, and we beat him pretty comfortably. Porto, one of the players who was making an impact off the bench, he was kind of coming on whenever we were needing to change into that second half system. One thing that I will mention is that we were having suspensions. You may have seen earlier on that Bruno Fernandes got himself sent off. He missed 3 games for that straight red card. Even though we were having some suspensions, it was kind of falling our way quite nicely in that the players that were coming in were performing pretty well, and we weren't really missing the players that were out suspended. We lost a couple of games throughout this league campaign, but for the majority of the time, we were winning. You see right at this point here, we're beating Dupe. I mean, Dupe, most people said that he drafted the best team. We beat him pretty comfortably, and we will go on to play him in the knockouts as well, where, I mean, spoilers, we beat him again there. I mean, there's a calamitous own goal that you may have just seen there from Virgil van Dijk. Dupe got the first pick in the draft. He picked Romelu Lukaku, somebody that I would have picked if I was able to choose my first choice player. In the end, Victor Osimhen was really good for us, and we ended up being okay with not having Lukaku in our side. But overall, as I mentioned, I was really happy with the team that we did manage to pick. We had pace on the wings through Iñaki Williams and Thomas Lemar. They're also pretty good at spotting a pass and getting involved in the attacks. Our strike force was brilliant. Milik, I think he's gone under the radar a little bit. A really, really good foil for Victor Osimhen. I feel like Victor Osimhen's going to be one of the very first picks in the next draft where it's available to pick him. But I don't think he could have done what he did unless he had a player like Arkadiusz Milik alongside him. Milik was winning headers and flicking them on. He was also doing a lot of running almost on that left-hand side. Osimhen was just kind of there to tap in the winning goals. Oh, you're seeing here behind me, by the way, this was a loss. We did end up losing 2 games during the league format. One was against Zealand here where, I mean, actually, I'm not sure we really deserved to lose. He made some really good changes. He scored, I think it was 82nd minute and 83rd minute to turn it around to end up winning the game 4-3. But I think we were a little bit unlucky in that one. And then the other loss that we did suffer was against Foxy. In that game, we were missing both of our starting midfielders. And I kind of chalked that up as the reason as to why we lost that game. You're seeing here, by the way, we did beat Dr. Benji in the final game. So yeah, overall, it was a brilliant, brilliant league campaign. And we ended up being the winners again. In our past 4 showdowns, we have finished first, second and first in the league format. However, this was the very first time that we could convert that really good form in the league into an overall crown at the end of it by winning the knockouts as well. And oh, hasn't it been a long time coming? Here is the final table then for you to see. We finished up on 18 points. And then you also do see the bottom 2. Luke and Dupe played out the elimination game. It was Dupe that went through. And that took him through to the knockouts and set up a tie with us. Let's go and have a look at how we managed to navigate our way through those knockout games. And so after watching Dupe defeat Amiga Luke 5-0 in the elimination game, should we look at that tweet one more time? It was time to start our knockout journey. Now, And so another element to the knockouts is that there are home and away legs. Because we were the highest seed, finishing first in the league, we would play our first legs away from home, and then the return fixture would be back at our home stadium. Now, home advantage is a massive, massive factor in Football Manager, and we really made it pay in these knockouts. We were, though, also really, really dominant away from home as well. The only away leg that we didn't actually win throughout the knockouts was this first leg against Dupe here, where we drew 1-1, but that was already pretty good to take back to our home stadium. And then once we got there, as you're seeing here, look, we romped it pretty much. We went into a 3-0 lead, and with about 15 minutes to go, we didn't take our foot off the gas at all and just continued to score goals. The fourth being knocked in here by Victor Osimhen, a lovely little dink over the goalkeeper. He was well on his way to scoring. I think it was 15 goals overall. I think that was his 11th, so he's got another 4 goals to come from here. He was electric up front. You could give him the ball inside his own half. He's got brilliant pace. He will turn on it. He will carry the ball beautifully, and he will put it in the back of the net as well. You also see the likes of Dries Mertens. He was pretty quiet. We used him off the bench mainly, but when we did bring him on, he did score goals, and I think he scored 2 here to put us 5-0 up and then to put us 6-0 up as well. Dries Mertens, what a great player to have on your bench. It's very Lelujo to draft yourself a team that has lots and lots of depth, and I think our squad did have lots of depth, although I think there was a few sleeper picks in there. The likes of Porto is very, very good, and I don't think most people be looking at him and thinking he's a great option off the bench. He was, though. So there you go. Then we beat Dupe pretty comprehensively overall, and that set up a tie against probably my least favourite person to play in this competition, Zealand. Not because I don't enjoy the conversation, but because it is always such a tough match. And now, you're not going to see it in these highlights here, but Zealand had a really good start to this away leg. He was dominating the match, and then all of a sudden, Victor Osimhen went and gave us the lead away from home. And then from there, we kind of grew into this match. Just before the hour mark, we took a 2-0 lead. Bruno Fernandes from the penalty spot. And this, I mean, you can probably see it from I'll show you right there. Look at my reaction to that goal. I was delighted to be winning this game. We changed it. We went to that 4-4-1-1. We tried to shut it down. And in fact, we went and got ourselves another goal. It was Victor Osimhen again. Of course it was. Smashing past the goalkeeper. I was delighted. We were 3-0 up away from home. And that's how it finished. It was ours to lose, and I mean, we didn't lose it. In fact, in the second leg, because of that dominance, because Z had to kind of chase the game, push players forwards, we just kept scoring goals. It was Arkadiusz Milik pretty early on, and that gave us a 1-0 lead. 2-0 in the second half. Bruno Fernandes, who was back from his suspensions, he was so influential in these knockouts, and we just kept scoring goals from these little short throws, little short corners, set pieces, which seemed to really come into their own on this Sunday. It was 3-0 with half an hour to go, and then we made it 4-0 to Milik. Over to Fernandes, who I said was growing in influence. I mean, what a finish that is. Drilling in from outside the box. 4-0, 15 to go. Zealand did score through Gervinho here to maybe make it a little bit nervy. I mean, it wasn't really. It was 7-1 on aggregate at this stage. He made it 7-2. Zlatan Ibrahimovic, who had a really good campaign overall for Z. But that was enough. 7-2 on aggregate. That set up the final where we were to play Dr. Benji, the main man himself. I mean, it's always a fun game against Ben. And I mean, it could have been very different. Ben almost scoring early there. I think it was Hazard who missed a great chance. We went up the other end. We had 2 wipes going into this final, meaning we got a fitness reset before the first leg and the second leg. And I really do think it made a big difference. In fact, it did make a big difference because we were able to train loads, and I did loads of set piece training, and it really did pay dividends. You see Hataboa scoring an own goal there. Really, that could have been a Pau Torres goal. And just watch what happens with Pau Torres in the rest of this tie. After that first goal, though, Ben did score an equaliser on the break. Vas gave it away, and it was Eden Hazard who romped down the left-hand side before smashing home to make it 1-1. And things here, I was fine. If this finished 1-1 in this first leg, I would have been delighted with that. That gives me a great chance going into this second leg with the home advantage, which again, because we were still the highest seed, we were still getting that second leg at home. But it got even better. Victor Osimhen scoring his 14th of the season with a header at the back post, another set piece. I think all of that training did make a difference. It goes to show that if you do train things like set pieces, you will see things happen in the match engine. So Don't underestimate the power of your training. A seaman there heading in, and that gave us a 2-1 lead going into the home game. Ben had to attack at this point, and I mean, 6 minutes into the game, Eden Hazard, running from his own half there, gave him the lead in the second leg, making it all square. So we'd beat him away from home. He'd taken the lead at our ground. Eden Hazard, I mean, what a finish this is. He was very, very good in these 2 games. Lovely finish past the goalkeeper. 2-2 on aggregate with most of this game to go. It took us about 10 minutes to get ourselves back in front. Pau Torres scoring another header from a set piece, and then about 4 minutes later, Pau Torres scoring another goal, this time from a short corner. The way that we set up, we had short corner set up on one side, we had the very direct near post corners on the other side, which you're seeing right there. Rafa Varane with a big header to make it 3-1, and at this point, we were kind of running away with it. The score was 5-2 on aggregate, but we didn't stop there. I mean, I wouldn't. I was too nervous. Even at this stage, I mean, even after we scored a couple more goals, I was not counting any chickens. I was still so scared that we might blow it from here. We kept going though, and right before half-time, Victor Osimhen scoring his final goal of the campaign. A small win for Ben is that Edinson Cavani does keep his tag of the record goal scorer ever in a showdown. He got 16. Victor Osimhen ended up on 15. However, I'm still pretty happy with that. He's got 29 goals in 2 showdowns for me now. What a player. I mean, if I could choose him every single time for every single showdown, I think I would. Almost definitely. He made it 4-1, and then we continued. I mean, this was a lovely goal. You can say about set pieces all you want. Lovely bit of interplay. Milik with the finish. 5-1, 7-2 on aggregate. At this stage, maybe, just maybe, in the back of my head, I was thinking, we might have won this, you know. We might have won this. But we couldn't stop there because Ben did keep it interesting. He went and did score another goal here. I think this was the Cristiano Ronaldo goal, was it, in the end? No, Maxi Gomez. Lovely finish. Lovely move. 5-2 on the night. 7-3 on aggregate. With about 20 minutes to go, there was maybe an inkling of a chance. I think we kind of wiped that out though with Verratti involved, the player that we got as a bonus player. I don't think I've mentioned that. We got an extra bonus wild card because we won the league. Verratti was that player. He did make an impact. He was a really good option off the bench. Iñaki Williams made it 6-2 with the finish before finally, with about a minute to go of normal time, Guedes came forward. Lovely ball out wide. You can see that Ben's got nobody back. He's thrown people completely forward at this stage. Iñaki Williams put the cherry on the icing on the cake. 7-2. And that was enough to confirm us as the FM21 Season 3 Streamer Showdown champions. Oh, and my word, did it feel good. I mean, I'll just show you now. I'll take myself off the screen as you can see the final whistle going and the scenes that met us. Just look at that smile on my face. I was delighted, so relieved because, I mean, we've got to a final and lost on penalties. We got to a semi-final when it was ours to lose and lost on penalties. We've won league campaigns. To finally be able to see my team lifting the trophy here, I mean, I was delighted. I mean, look at the chat there, loving it. What an evening. What an event. Oh, I'm delighted that it's finally happened. And that was that then. We were the champions. Thank you so much to everybody involved with the showdown. Thank you for everybody who was involved in the chat over the course of the weekend. Thank you for choosing to watch my stream and my perspective of what is such a great event with so many great creators. The next showdown will be back next month. There is one every single month. It's a relentless machine. It just keeps giving. We're going to go and see if we can win it again. But that's where we'll leave it today. Thank you so much for watching. I've enjoyed making this video. What a lovely thing to look back on. Thank you for all the support recently. I'll catch you very soon. Bye-bye. Hello? Hi, mate. Yeah, no, thank you for your set pieces and everything over the weekend. Yeah, no, it definitely worked. They, yeah. I think that was pretty much what got us the win in the end. Yeah, no, it's a nice one for that. I'll send over the payment and everything soon. Yeah, cheers, buddy. All right, now I'll catch you soon. Yeah, cheers. See you later, Gary. See you in a bit. See you, mate. Bye-bye. Bye. Gary Megson there.